This is Tools of Fortune. I'm your reader, Bill. And in this video, we are doing a viewer response for these three individuals. Itasha Modi, 9278, and Wesh Ashkar, 28, and For She Who the Sun Rises. And I was not able to get to their questions on last Wednesday, when they asked them. So I'm going to start here with Itasha. And she asked the question, when will Itasha and husband Deepak reunite? Now, I don't do time very well, so I'm going to rephrase this question a bit. But we're going to start first with the question, what is preventing a reunion? What is preventing Deepak and Itasha from being together? And I'm going to use this What's Blocking Me deck. And already we have a card that just popped right out. Fear of loss. So what is preventing them from reuniting? What is preventing them from reuniting? Mother Mary, help us to find the answer. Help us to find the answer, Mother Mary. So this is an upright deck. We're going to look at it that way. So there's like some judgment. There's judgment that has passed between you two. Maybe family judgment. Don't be too quick to count someone out. Be open and give them a fair chance. So it could just be that what is preventing you two from coming back together is that a fair chance has not been given. Somebody has been counted out. A judgment has been passed. And there is this past trauma in the relationship that has not been addressed. So for you, Itasha, have you addressed all the trauma that existed in your marriage when you were married? Maybe past trauma that existed before you were married. So there is this past trauma that is standing in the way, and that is keeping you stuck in place. And you are repeating the same patterns, and the same patterns just keep cycling through, and you're stuck. But at the same time, you're afraid of losing. You're afraid of losing this person. He is afraid of losing you. So there is in one sense, what is preventing reunion is the fear of loss. And it doesn't make sense. You break up with somebody because you're afraid of being hurt. But in terms of creating that rupture in the relationship, you get hurt, even though you are afraid of being hurt. The fear of loss, the fear of losing someone. Staying stuck in patterns of trauma that keep repeating themselves. Round and round and round you go, dazed and confused as the dizziness grows. And the judgment, the family judgment, the society judgment, the judgment that is sealed over this rupture because there has been a rupture in this relationship. So that's why what is preventing you from having a reunion? Fear of loss, trauma, being stuck in a spin cycle, and judgment. And I'm going to ask the question is, in terms of this, not in question of when, but will you two reunite? Will you two reunite? Will you get beyond your trauma and come back together again? I will use this deck here. Will you? We'll do it as a 3-card yes, no, maybe. Will you two reunite? This deck is very difficult to shuffle. The cards are thick. But I like this deck, though. Will you two reunite? Will you and your husband reunite? Will Deepak come back to Itasha? 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 Huh. Looks like all the cards popped out. There's a possibility that you could have it's possible. It's possible, Itasha, for a reunion. It's not a done deal. It's going to be hard. There is some excitement here. The prospect of a new thing. And this will this happen, but it'll happen. It'll be as a brand new experience. Like maybe you are meeting each other again for the first time. But that excitement will be tempered by this great burden of responsibility. And that could be that responsibility to family, the responsibility to society, to children. Like a heavy burden you have to carry. And ultimately it could lead in failure. So you have this fear of loss, a lack of confidence, this fear of your past traumas, this fear of what happens if it doesn't work. And so that will stand in the way. Will stand in the way of any reunion ever happening, for a fear of failure. And then these responsibilities. But then underneath it all, there is this excitement that something new could happen, that you could come together again, and it will be a fresh start. So I know this is not very positive. It's not exactly what you're looking for. You should trust your intuition. And this is interesting too. And because this is my second start at trying your reading, and this card popped up twice now. So this is what Spirit is telling you, that in this moment you really, really need to trust your inner voice. And what does your inner voice tell you about what is going on? Will this happen? Will a reunion happen? And how to proceed? But you have to think in terms of the fact that it's going to be hard, even though it's going to be exciting. There is failure is shrouding over the whole thing, and then there are these issues of the past trauma that maybe neither one of you have dealt with. The judgment of the society that is judging you because you are not married, or your marriage is on the rocks, and then being stuck in a cycle, and all of that clouded over by this intense fear of loss. So what you might think about doing here is doing some journaling and try to figure out what is hurting you, and what do you think is hurting him from his past. What are the judgments that have been passed upon you? And why do you keep doing the same things over and over again? And what are you afraid of? What are your fears? Okay, does that help? I know it's not exactly, I didn't exactly answer your question. So will you two reunite? Maybe. Maybe. It's not a done deal. For the time being, you are still separated. And so in this time of separation, you need to take this time to reflect upon why. Why did the marriage fail? Why did it fail? What were the failures that led to a separation? and try to figure that out. And come back later and ask the question again. All right, I hope that this helps. Like I say, I have a sense that this is not what you are looking for. I think you were looking for maybe when it'll happen, like a month. But maybe what we'll do here is we'll go into these cards and we'll just see if we can. Will it happen? Maybe when will it happen? What month? What season? When will it happen? And I'll take this card here, the 2 and the 9. So like the 11th month, maybe February, maybe September, maybe November. When we think of Pluto, Pluto is a faraway planet. Pluto, the lord of the underworld. Pluto, the dog. Pluto, winter. When you think of cold. So maybe more like, if it happens, maybe it'll be more like November. November. Cold. 2 plus 9 together is 11. The 11th month. So if it'll happen, maybe it'll happen by November. All right? All right, thank you very much for allowing me to read for you. We're going to move on to the next question. And Anwesha Sakar asked the question of what is on the horizon for the next 2 months. What is on the horizon for the next 2 months? I'm going to choose a random page out of this book. We'll go right here to page 77. Then a hermit who visited the city once a year came forth and said, "Speak to us of pleasure." And he answered, saying, "Pleasure is a freedom song, but it is not freedom. It is the blossoming of your desires, but it is not their fruit. It is a depth calling onto a height, but it is not the deep nor the high. It is the cage taking wing, but it is not space and compass. I, in very truth, pleasure is a freedom song, and I fain would have you sing it with fullness of heart. Yet I would not have you lose your hearts in the singing. Some of your youth seek pleasure as if it were the all, and they are judged and rebuked." So what is on the horizon? Maybe some unpleasant experiences. Some hard work. Pleasure is a freedom song, but it is not freedom. A sense of not being free. The blossoming of your desires, but learning that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. It is the depth into a height, but it is not deep nor high. So like going on an even keel. So what is on the horizon? More of the same. More of the same. 77. 7 plus, that's 1 plus 4, that's 5. And so we look at a number 5. Change. Challenge. Freedom. A change is on the way, but it will be challenging. More of the same. It'll be hard work, and you're going down on this even keel. 7, 7. And we look at that as a numerical number. What does this say about 7, 7? The angels want to bring your attention to the awakening spirituality, and using this number, they are asking you to continue practicing awareness of the divine and everything around you. So what is on the horizon is a call for you to answer, to seek the divine in everything that you do. 7 plus 7 equals to 14. And 1 plus 4 equals to 5. 5. 1, a new beginning, and 4, something foundational. But let us take a look at what is on the horizon in the next 2 months. What is on the horizon for the next 2 months? What is on the horizon for the next 2 months? For Anwash, what is on the horizon for the next 2 months? Mother Mary, what is on the horizon for Anwash Sakar for the next 2 months. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This over here. So we look at some deception, somebody trying to get away with something, unpleasant memories from the past will come and visit you. There will be conflict and chaos and a sense of rivalry between your family, between friends, between co-workers. And then we're asking you to not take things for granted, because it feels as though you are falling into a rut. When I said, looking over here, that everything is going to go forward like on an even keel. Seeking after pleasure, but you're not going to find pleasure. You're not going to find freedom. And the fruit, as they manifest, is not going to fulfill your desires. And so you are seeking greater freedom, but you're not going to feel like you're going to find it. So this, in a sense of going into a rut, your unpleasant memories, but feeling like something is stolen from you. And that peace that is stolen from you will lead to chaos, to fighting between different factions of yourself, even. Fighting within different factions of who you are. A very foundational thing. And then this feeling, this need to defend yourself. So being on the defensive. So what is happening on the horizon? Conflict. And being challenged. Always feeling like you're going to be challenged to a fight to defend yourself because there's something sneaky happening. And then through all of this is this danger of falling into a rut. So there's unpleasant memories. Falling into a rut. Everything going forward on an even keel. So what is being stolen from you? New exciting possibilities. So like with this page itself, page 77. You're seeking pleasure, but the pleasure will not come. Seeking freedom, but it will not feel like free. You will not feel free. Your desires will blossom, but the fruit will have no taste. I fain would have you sing it with fullness of heart, yet I would not have you lose your hearts in singing. Some of your youth seek pleasure as if it were the all, and they are judged and rebuked. So what it sends to me is whatever pleasurable thing you're seeking is going to be taken away from you. Or that's what it's going to feel like. You're going to feel like that things are being stolen from you. And that's with this sense of this 7 of swords. Somebody sneaking into your life and stealing what you most desire. Let's take a look at these numbers here. I want to take a look at these numbers too. So you have your down number 6. You're looking at disharmony. And then your up number, we have what? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. Again, the number 5. Change. Challenge. Freedom. And together we have 11. Justice. Or 2. High Priestess. So a sense of what you need to do in the next 2 months is you need to really go inside and do some soul searching and to figure out how to rebalance this situation. So we have 11, Justice, High Priestess, but it also comes down to being a 2. So you need to rebalance the yin and yang of your life, change, challenge, and freedom, and look at why do you feel this chaos? And asking yourself, why do you feel chaos? And how can you change this situation? Okay? So you look to justice and look to your intuition. Look to that Torah in your heart. You need to spend more time in that sense of that 7-7, more time in your spiritual life. Whether you're going out in nature, connecting to the stars, connecting to the trees, connecting to the wildlife. Spend time in contemplation. That's your high priestess. Spend time with the divine feminine. Spend time in prayer. Spend time inside you, in your heart. Spend time in you. Spend time connecting to the divine in you and outside of you. Okay? I hope that helps. Let's move on to this for she who the sun rises. And for she who the sun rises has asked the question, when will my situation change? I have been out of work for over a year. And so I want to go to one of these oracle decks. I want to try to figure out what is blocking you. What is blocking you? Yeah, so we're going to ask that question of what is blocking you. I think I might do this is an upright deck here. Today is 9. There's only 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's clear the air. Mother Mary, for she who the sun rises asked the question, when will my situation change? I have been out of work over a year. And I'm going to start by asking the question, what is going on with her? What is going on with her? What is going on with her? The wind is howling outside my house. What is going on? What is the vibe? What is the vibe of her current situation? What's going on in her current situation? What is going on for she who the sun rises? What is going on with her situation? Upright cards only. Okay, we'll do 4 cards. We'll just take a look at this. Feeling exhausted, puzzled, confused. The need for a glow up and being bitter about what's going on. So in one sense, what you have going on is feeling angry and bitter about your current situation, which is exhausting you. And then overall, you get a sense of being puzzled and confused because things are not going on in your life as you think you are. But then there is this need here that there are new opportunities on the horizon, that you just got to do a little glow up. A little glow up. Reflect on, why do you feel salty? Why are you exhausted? Why are you confused? Spend time journaling about these things. And then what are the opportunities that are coming your way? So you're applying for work and you're not getting anything. What kind of work are you applying for? I was like listening to a story, I think it was on the NewsHour the other day. And it was about people who retired, who have to unretire and go back to work. Now me, I'm caregiving for my mother, and I know that one day when I go back to work, the type of work I will be doing will most likely be running a vacuum cleaner at a casino, washing dishes, being a dishwasher, and the opportunities that will be available for me, somebody who has not been employed for 5 years. Maybe by that time it'll be 10 years. Somebody who hasn't been employed for 10 years is down at the bottom again. Those new opportunities are not great opportunities. Doing janitorial work, washing dishes, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, scrubbing walls. That's just talking about me. You've been out of work over a year. I don't know what you are looking for work. But sometimes the opportunities that are in front of us are the opportunities that we do not want to take. The opportunities that we do not want to take. That is my soapbox. I'm going to get off my little soapbox here about that. But a new glow up. And what does that mean by a glow up? Of looking at things differently. I don't know. But I would go through your life, through things going on, and why are you angry if you are angry? Why are you tired if you are tired? And why are you perplexed about this situation if indeed you are puzzled? So let's just leave these over here. And so the question is, when will this situation change? We're going to just go with what will this situation. I'm going to drop the when off and go to, will she get a job? This is the first card that popped out. Will she get a job? Will you get a job soon? Will you get a job? 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. All right. These cards came out on the side. I'm going to leave them out on the side. The deck just is popping cards out all over. It looks like, if I'm looking at this, will you get a job? It doesn't look hopeful to me. It doesn't look hopeful. All the cards are upside down. All the cards show there's some major blockages here. The foundation you're standing on is shaky. You're holding too tight onto things of the body. Like your talents are being held. I'm going to look at it in the sense of you are holding on to your talents too tightly. In a very sort of a more unhealthy sort of a way. Your foundation is shaky. And then there's this sense of the devil in reverse. Of gaining power through bad, so you have bad behaviors to be able to stop some bad behaviors. So we look at this: salty, exhausted, puzzled, glow up. A need for a glow up. A need to change the situation that is going on. And let's take a look at these numbers. We got 6, 6, 10, 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. It's got 8. And 8, and let's see, 8, 18, 19, 20, 23, 5. So it's, in a sense, what we have going on here is an inability to change. Change is not happening. Change is blocked. Change is blocked. You need to make a change, but whatever change you're trying to make, it's blocked by something. Something is blocking you. So let's go take a look at these sideways cards over here. We have memories. And then we have this sense of some deception on the side. This could either be good memories or bad memories. Spending too much time in the past. Spending too much time in the past. Either way, either they are positive memories or they are negative memories. They are both. You have both positive and negative memories, and you're spending too much time there. In this, about self-deception and the realization. So lying to yourself while you're trying to not and trying to come clean. It's a balance between lies and honesty. Needing to come clean. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop lying to yourself. And in these two numbers, we're looking at what? 12, 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. It's foundational. We have the 4 coming up oftentimes. We have this whole thing is a foundational issue. So it's looking at the very foundations of your life right now. You haven't worked in over a year, and it feels as though nothing is going to change. And according to the energy that you have going on now, nothing will change. When will your situation change? It's not going to change. It's going to keep going on as it is. However, there was this card. New opportunities, a new career, being successful in business, and you need this in your life to look at those opportunities. What are those opportunities? How can you get a glow up? And let's go take a look into here. We haven't used this deck. I haven't used this deck for a while. This video is going to take a long time to upload. 45-minute, hour-long video. I probably will speed it up to 1.1, so it'll be just a little bit sped up. But let us take a look here. What opportunities are on the horizon for her? What opportunities are on the horizon? What opportunities are on the horizons? What opportunities are on the horizon? Look at that. 3 plus 2 is 5. Change. So we look at some of the words that pop out. Family. Being strategic, being tactical. We have owl, being wise with your choices. Wise with, and then ask, needing to ask for help. Asking for help. And of course, you asked me a question, you're asking for help. What kind of opportunities are on the horizon? Being strategic. Being an example for others. We think of ace, starting again, 1. Starting again, 1. Carrying, so maybe moving objects. Do you have a strong back? Maybe delivery. UPS. Could you get a job as a driver, a delivery driver? Is that something you could do? We have film. So when you think of in the film industry, that would be great. But maybe what we're looking at is something like surveillance in a casino. Do you have a casino nearby? an indigenous tribal casino. Maybe you could apply for at a casino and see what jobs are available. And if they have like an open job, let's say in surveillance, apply for that. They, what would you do involving carrying things for other people? Oh, like maybe a cocktail waitress at a casino. When I worked in a casino, I made like $60,000-$70,000 a year. I made in tips. I made like $50,000 a year in cash alone. $20,000 a year in just wages, roughly thereabouts. And then we have another word, oven. So if there is the types of opportunities you would look at is things like surveillance, security, delivery, and then oven over here, like baking and cooking. I don't know if that helps any, but that's what I got for you. Thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I apologize that I wasn't able to get to your questions when I was on live. Blessings and peace to you all, and I hope and I wish for all you all to manifest your dreams in a positive manner. We have the positive alien. I may be a tiny alien, but I believe in you because you're out of this world amazing. And I'm going to leave all you all with this. One more thing. This is a new deck of cards. Positive affirmations. They're positive affirmations. And I'll just kind of pull one out at random here. Here we have, I have hope. I have hope I can face any challenge as long as I have faith that my path is on the side of light. Don't forget about hope. Don't forget about faith. And don't forget about love. Love yourself above all others. Love God, self, and neighbor. And never lose hope. Never lose hope. Because whatever it is that you are doing, you are learning something in this now. You are all learning something in this now. All of these experiences are learning experiences that you can gain wisdom from. In that card there was owl. Owls are seen as wise creatures sitting in their trees, looking around, watching. Be like that owl. Have hope. Hope that whatever these things that you are going through, that they are temporary. They are temporary. And there is a reason that you are experiencing what you are experiencing, but also have hope for change, that you can reunite with your husband, that you can change, that you can make a change in your life, that you can have justice in your life, that you can have harmony in your life, that you can find new opportunities. I believe that you can, and that you can break this spell of being out of work for over a year. Blessings and peace to you, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.